Destiny thoughts? I mean, Asmongold. He's usually based on Ukraine, right? On one hand, Trump is saying, with America, you hold all the cards. And on the other, he is saying he doesn't want Zelensky to want an advantage. These contradictions happen a lot lately. Why don't people call it out? Not worth. Nobody in American media can say anything bad about Trump because he'll kick you out of the press room. You'll be banned from ever doing interviews with him. So Trump has surrounded himself with sycophantic journalists. It's all the echo chamber. But I've said this is how the media works as well. On all of the conservative podcasts, you just invite people that you agree with already, and then you just basically circle jerk each other's points. There's no real pushback, and then it gives you so much more appearance of authority or appearance of unity around ideas because you just surround yourself with people who are all there to like reinforce the same point of view, basically.
Long time, so I hope we're gonna get it solved. In the back, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Prime Minister Starmer claimed repeatedly that
somebody says Russia started the war, Russia's losing the war. What kind of sense does it make if they win something from this? It makes sense because they have nuclear weapons. And we can't force them and stop them to do it. That's the reason why. So do we.
If you want to make that argument, then fine. Fine, go ahead and make it. But please stop saying that Trump is a great negotiator then. Like, why did we vote for Trump if Russia still has nuclear weapons? Like, Trump didn't change that. So are we admitting then that Trump could never negotiate anything in the first place? Like, it was always a lost cause. So voting for him as the great negotiator who was going to end this conflict, by the way, on day one, that was going to be, or that was all like a waste of time. It was all pointless. Like,
okay, well, like, so which one's better, right? Ukraine gives up some land or we have a nuclear holocaust? We all know what the answer is. That's just the truth.
True. Germany either gets Poland, we have to give land, or it's just going to be World War II. We can't do that, guys. Appeasement works every time.
It shouldn't be, but it is. That's how I see it. I hope now maybe somebody else has insight that I haven't thought of, but man, it looks bad. And again, like, this is coming from somebody like I'm very pro-Ukraine. Like, I'm not against them at all. Like, I've been positive towards them the entire.
Yeah, maybe we need a little bit of World War III at this point, actually, to remind people of like who's who and who stands where.
Time. But I can't see how you can look at this any other way.
His government believes in free speech and
am I crazy?
Censorship. But his country's government arrests people for memes and thought crimes, and even more worrisome is pressuring
here we go.
American companies.
He's like, oh, thank God, what I give a fuck about. Yes.
To censor Americans on his behalf. How can he be a reliable, trustworthy partner when he says things that are demonstrably false?
Well, we actually spoke to him about that yesterday, and we thought they took it very, very much too far. JD was very strong on it. So was I. So was Marco, and we've been speaking to him about it. Marco, would you like to say something about that?
Yeah, we have concerns, obviously, with the conduct of theirs, particularly as it impacts Americans. And there's real concern that American speech, which is
no, he's completely fucking right. Like, I don't want to have our companies censored globally because of some bullshit EU thought crime law. It's ridiculous.
Finally, the real issues.
Could fall into the hands of British or any country's
fucking
jurisdiction.
pathetic.
And so this is a point the Vice President made in Munich, and I think
why?
It's very
because you want the actual real truth of why I really believe that? I have very few principles in life, but free speech is one of them. I think it is a core Western principle that dates all the way back to ancient Greece. I think it is the foundation of discourse. It's the foundation of democracy, and it's the foundation of the free marketplace of ideas. And if you don't have that, you don't have anything. And so I view this as like, if you take away people's freedom of speech, you are taking away their freedom, like you're putting their mind in a cage, effectively.
Oh my God, I'm good. I don't need to.
Military re-strengthened, he could now move on to step 2. He wanted to rapidly increase the Aryan population, and to do so, he needed Lebensraum. Or in other words, he would have to take over the world. But for now, a good portion of Europe would do, and he began eyeing up his neighbors. The Allies finally started to get worried, so they implemented a fairly useless diplomatic strategy called appeasement, and it went a little something like this. Hitler would say, I want that thing, and the Allies would say, you can't have that thing. Okay, you can have that thing, but no more. I want that thing. And repeat.
Wow. Zelensky interview in 10 minutes on Fox News. Does anybody have a link for where it'll be broadcasting from? Interviewed by Brett Baer. You're going to go over the October 7th reports of today? Nope. Fuck, I don't know if I can watch a live stream of that or if Fox News will DMCA people for it. Tell me if anybody else starts watching it. We're going to read this article. The terrorist propaganda to Reddit pipeline, how an ultra-leftist network hijacked some of the biggest non-political subreddits to censor its ideological enemies and distribute terrorist propaganda based. Destiny, you don't get it. There's two choices. Either cede Finland, Sweden, the Baltics, Poland, Germany, England, Brazil, Mexico, Canada to Russia, or a nuclear holocaust. You don't want that, do you? True. The r/Palestine network coordinates across Reddit, Discord, X, Instagram, Quora, Wikipedia, and Wikipedia, manipulating search engines and AI models like ChatGPT to spread its messaging, a practice known as data poisoning. The network systematically launders propaganda from U.S.-designated terrorist organizations, including Hamas, Hezbollah, and Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Key subreddits infiltrated by the network include r/documentaries, r/public freakout, and r/there was an attempt, misleading millions into believing its content is organic. And through coordinated vote brigading, subreddit moderation, and content manipulation, the network influences public perception while evading platform moderation and legal consequences. Reddit's trust and safety team has been repeatedly warned about the network's activities, but has failed to act, allowing terror-linked propaganda to proliferate. It's by now a truism that digital propaganda will play a central role in the wars of the 21st century. What's less understood is the extent to which that is already happening. Amid the din about TikTok's ties to Beijing, little attention is paid to terror groups funded by Iran and Qatar that are linked to extraordinarily effective propaganda networks that span every major social media and information platform. Since October 7th, an online network has emerged that directs content sourced from U.S.-designated Islamist terror organizations, including Hamas, Hezbollah, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and the Houthi movement, across Reddit, Discord, X, TikTok, Instagram, Quora, and Wikipedia. The network works with an awareness that its manipulation eventually flows downstream and gets baked into universal platforms like Google Search and ChatGPT. The central locus of the network is a 270,000-member subreddit called r/Palestine. A Discord server with the same name functions as command and control for the r/Palestine network and is promoted prominently on the subreddit. On the Discord, whose new members must undergo an ideological purity test consisting of questions about their views on Israel, Zionism, and October 7th, a Reddit task force channel coordinates posting to Reddit, identifying comment sections that need more pro-Palestinian commentary, mass upvoting of anti-Israel posts, and downvoting of pro-Israel posts, a practice known as vote brigading. The Discord has separate task forces for Quora, TikTok, Instagram, X, and Wikipedia. Do they have, oh my God, we have links. Oh, there's the Discord. Interested in becoming Reddit mods? Upvote/boost. Items that need visibility through upvotes or shares will be linked here. This is supposed to be against the Reddit TOS, by the way. Linking externally for updates. Open discussion channel for the Reddit forum. Comment sections that need more pro-Palestinian commentary will be linked here. Content from various sources to create original posts with. Items to cross-post and any relevant subreddits will be linked here. Jesus. Okay. That was this right here. Damn, we got a whole ass organization. The Wikipedia task force, TikTok/Instagram task force, Quora, Reddit, X. On Reddit, the network consists of no fewer than 110 subreddits controlled by around 30 core moderators who are part of the network. Its central subreddits, including r/Palestine, r/Israel crimes, and r/apartheid Israel, are topically relevant and built around overlapping ideologies that include anti-Zionism, anti-capitalism, radical Marxism, Islamism, and anti-Western and pro-Iranian regime sentiment. Other core subreddits in the network include r/Pan-Arab, r/fight_disinformation, r/global news hub, and r/suppressed news. But it's with a cluster of million-member-strong subreddits infiltrated and now controlled by the network that have nothing to do with the Middle East, or even politics generally, that the r/Palestine network is particularly effective, and which illustrates an extraordinary degree of unambiguous astroturfing meant to convince unsuspecting users that there is a widespread anti-Israel, anti-Western Marxist movement online. These include, but aren't limited to, r/documentaries, 20 million members, r/there was an attempt, 7.2 million, r/public freakout, 4.7 million, r/FOMOI, 4.3 million, and r/I'm a total piece of shit, 2.1 million. What? Okay. The network leverages command and control mechanisms, radicalizing messaging, and decentralized tactics by exploiting the openness and freedom afforded by these platforms, as well as vulnerabilities in the platform's trust and safety operation, which have largely been outsourced to the user base itself rather than trained moderators. But they also use Reddit and Wikipedia's unique status in relation to search engines and LLMs to spread the propaganda orders of magnitude further. Data poisoning, LLMs and search. Moi equals moi. Okay. Faux moi? Last year, Reddit and Google signed a $60 million content licensing deal, giving Google access to Reddit's API for LLM training and search purposes. OpenAI announced a similar partnership last May. Google has a similar agreement with Wikipedia. But Reddit's significance goes much further than this, particularly for OpenAI, which disclosed in a white paper that on GPT-3 that WebText-2, its dataset of scraped internet content used to train the model, consists of web pages that have been linked to by Reddit posts with 3 or more upvotes. Just as importantly, OpenAI then used WebText-2 as a template for judging the quality of content scraped from the open internet. Essentially, Reddit became OpenAI's filter for quality content. ChatGPT now crawls the open web, introducing more opportunities for this kind of data poisoning. A similar phenomenon is at work on search engines, namely Google, which frequently ranks Reddit posts as the first results on topic searches, something that r/Palestine network has reverse engineered to its benefit. For example, if you Google hostages collage in reference to a grid of photos of Israeli hostages held by Hamas, a top result when we viewed them, it was placed above a page from the Hostages and Missing Families forum where users can download the collage, is an r/Palestine post. Hostages collage. Paste. And that's on incognito. Jesus. Has anyone noticed the duplicate images in the hostages collage shown by Israel at the ICJ? Google prominently features misinformation from other platforms too. Information from Wikipedia can be found at the top of billions of searches per day, despite its articles being heavily poisoned by bad actors. And YouTube frequently uses Wikipedia as the ground truth for topical context. It provides for videos related to topics prone to misinformation, despite the ability for those articles to be manipulated and affect users in real time. This on its own is highly problematic, though it could be reasonably dismissed as an unintended consequence of legitimate free expression and the benign mechanics of LLM training and search algorithms. What changes the equation, however, is that at its core, the network is dedicated to covertly spreading propaganda distributed by U.S.-designated terror groups, and this is exactly what the r/Palestine network often does. It sources the content it puts on Reddit and then vote brigades from propaganda aggregators like Resistance News Network. How Resistance News Network launders terrorist propaganda. Screenshots I obtained seem to indicate that RNN pulls content from a color-coded list of Telegram channels run by U.S.-designated foreign terror organizations headquartered across the Middle East. Many of these channels aren't available in the U.S. due to restrictions on terror-related content, so RNN's translation and reposting of the content represents an effective, if illegal, workaround of U.S. terror law. While not the sole distributor of content produced by foreign terror groups, RNN is the main one. It aggregates and distributes content from U.S. designated groups in Israel, Palestine, including Hamas, the group that launched October 7th attacks, during which its militants deliberately killed children and for which Human Rights Watch accused it of war crimes. Palestinian Islamic Jihad, which participated in the October 7th attacks alongside Hamas, blah, blah, blah. Martyr Abu Mustafa Brigades, the armed wing of the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, the PFLP. That's whose headband I think Bad Bunny was wearing when she got Rip Reno'd off of Twitch. Which also participated in the October 7th attacks and many more. In Iraq, RNN pulls from around a dozen channels, including Kateb Hezbollah, which is engaged in a sustained campaign of rocket and drone attacks against U.S. bases and assets in the region, and Scream of Al-Qaeda Brigades, which is part of the Islamic resistance in Iraq. In Yemen, RNN aggregates at least 6 channels of major terror groups, including the Houthis. That's a good source of information. All right. Jesus. In one example of its content aggregation, RNN published an English translation of a battlefield message from Hamas's Al-Qassam Brigades, the military wing of Hamas. It played a leading role on October 7th. Thanks. Which read, "Our fighters in the West Bank are engaged in fierce clashes with enemy soldiers using automatic weapons near the city's main street." In another instance, RNN translated and published a post from Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigades, which participated in October 7th attacks and its designated terrorists. "We are engaged in fierce clashes with the Zionist enemy forces, storming the city with machine guns. RNN has a particularly tight relationship with Sami Dun, which the U.S. government classifies as a terror entity, with the Treasury Department calling it a sham charity that serves as an international fundraiser for the PFLP. Terrorist propaganda to Reddit pipeline. On Reddit, terror group propaganda aggregated by RNN is able to tunnel under the walled gardens of Telegram and into the groundwater of public debate. In one case, a user in r/Israel Exposed, a subreddit controlled by the r/Palestine network, posted a quote about the alleged detention of a Palestinian boy under the title Israeli soldier Israeli soldiers abduct and beat children. The post was a direct quote from RNN, which was cited as the source. While the content of the clip can be interpreted in different ways, the post is one of many examples of how the r/Palestine network funnels content from RNN onto Reddit. In the TrueAnon subreddit, also controlled by the group, a user posted a screen grab of a message from the head of the Houthis posted in the group's Telegram channel. "I call on America to send more MQ-9 drones as Yemeni air defenses enjoy grilling them." The same account previously posted a guide to Palestinian resistance groups posted by RNN, which are Palestinian resistance groups, which featured a screen grab of an explainer on Hamas's Al-Qassam Brigades, which led the October 7th atrocities broken down into sections. Okay. An explainer. Oh, removed by Reddit. Oh no. RIP. The activity coordinated by the network is not restricted to posting content online. In fact, the network frequently promotes demonstrations and rallies organized by U.S. designated terror groups in Reddit. Okay. The backbone of the Palestine network is a group of moderators who control dozens of overlapping subreddits with r/Palestine as the central hub. These users co-moderate the core group of ideological subreddits like r/Israel Crimes, Palestine News, and Apartheid Israel, where the content is dedicated to intensive and sustained anti-Israel messaging. The moderator network is key since Reddit mods hold sweeping authority over their communities, with the ability to remove posts, ban users, dictate discussion rules, and control visibility through pinned posts and automated filters. They can shape narratives by approving or suppressing content, restricting participation with account age and karma requirements, and even preemptively censoring topics using auto-moderator. Much of the network's influence lies in popular subreddits that nominally have nothing to do with Israel. For example, u/Sabah, the highly influential member of the network previously mentioned, moderates topically relevant subreddits like r/Palestine, Israel Crimes, Palestinians, Palestine News, Apartheid Israel, and Pan-Arab. However, he also moderates r/documentaries, There Was an Attempt, Public Freakout, IRL Easter Eggs, Toilet Paper USA, That's Actually Very Cool, and r/Boring Dystopia, a cluster of unrelated large subreddits that have been captured by the network, the actual lefty pipeline. Tell me if anybody else can watch that Fox interview. I don't want to get fucking dinged for I don't get dinged for fucking copyright bullshit, okay? Asmon is watching it right now. Is Asmongold Streaming on YouTube? Seven of these are Hassan mods as well. Based. I always thought that it was really weird that mods among all the top subreddits would be like shared. I feel like that was just, I remember like 10 years ago this was an issue that people had with Reddit. Although I don't think it was like quite as egregious as this or quite as ideologically poisoned as this, but is Twitch generally less strict about DMCA than YouTube? Yes, there is no live DMCA on Twitch that I'm aware of. That is automated. That's why so many of them watch copyrighted content all the time. r/there was an attempt, a separate originally meant for funny fail content, in which is over 7 million members, features as its main banner an archery target, in the colors of the Palestinian flag with the words Free Palestine ringed around it and Israel in the bullseye. Oh, I remember, was it October 7th or was it later when like so many of these subs were like all of a sudden became pro-Palestine or support Palestine like the banners, even though they like a lot of them weren't even political. Oh, and they still have this shit up, I think, right? Nice. The Undertale subreddit. The sheer volume of posts in r/there was an attempt obscures a steady tempo of anti-Israel content. For example, a recent post caption was, there was an attempt to support Palestine, feature blah, blah, blah. Okay, I got it. The 6 subreddits recommended by r/documentaries are exclusively controlled by the network, also suggests blatant astroturfing, and effectively makes r/documentaries the top of a multi-step funnel that sends users into ever more topical network subreddits, each of which contains successively more terrorist-sourced propaganda. r/news hub, world news video, boring dystopia. Why would documentaries even link to a boring dystopia? That's supposed to be like an anti-capitalist subreddit. There was an attempt. Public freakout. Public freakout? Why? I don't understand how documentaries relate to that at all, but okay, Jesus. Okay, link the Fox News thing. We'll watch it. If I get DMCA'd, I'm taking a week break though, okay? Because that's how long my YouTube shit is going to be shut off for. Link me the Fox News thing.
Our Ukrainian attitude to Russia, and I don't want they kill us for us. You know, this is very, very clear that Americans are the best of our friends, Europeans are the best of our friends, and
how long ago was this interview recorded?
Russian, they are enemies. And it doesn't mean that we don't want peace. We just want to recognize the reality, the real situation.
President Trump is convinced that you will never sign a deal with Vladimir Putin. Is he right?
No, I think so. What I think. Ukraine wants peace, and we will
Looks like today. I wonder if it was before or after. It must have been after the
diplomacy.
press conference.
We will have negotiations. I only said that. I think so. It's about justice.
I don't know why multiple people are saying it's live. They literally said it was a recorded interview that will air. So I don't know why multiple people in my chat are typing it's live. I don't know if you're just guessing, or I don't know why you would type that when you don't. Obviously, you don't know, since they literally said that it's a recorded interview being aired.
Lasting peace. It means that we have to be We have to be very strong at the table of negotiations, and at these negotiations, Ukraine and Russia, like sides of this war, have to be, and the United States and Europe. That's what I said. So we are ready for peace, but we have to be in strong position. What does it mean? Just to know that our army is strong, that our partners with us, and that we have security guarantees. Am I not right?
Leaving the White House today, President Trump said this.
He's looking to go on and fight. He wants to come back right now, but I can't do that.
What do you make of that? Do you want to continue fighting? Do you want peace? And if he had the opportunity to go back to the White House right now, would you do it?
No. First of all, we want peace. That's why I'm in the United States. That's why I visited President Trump. And thanks for the invitation again. The deal on minerals is the first step to security guarantees. It's meant for the peace, closer to peace. That's why I'm here. And we have tough situation. To understand it is to be in Ukraine. You saw it, Brad. You was once. Thank you again. So I think that's very important to understand what's going on. But I respect my soldiers and our people, our civilians who work and support our warriors. I can't say just stop. Nobody will stop because everybody afraid that Putin will come back tomorrow. We want just and lasting peace. It's true. We want security guarantees. We raise this topic about NATO the quickest way, but not all the countries are on this side. I said, okay, if not NATO, nobody is pushing. If not NATO, let's build NATO in Ukraine. That's my position. Europeans are ready to have contingents on our territory, boots on the ground. United States thinks maybe to help, maybe USA backstop, have to be just to guarantee that they are with Europeans. Look at Europe, it's strong, it became stronger, but they also want to have allies like the United States. That's what I said. I just want to understand what the peace. It's not my question, Brad. This is the question from all our people.
You mentioned when I traveled to the front lines with you last year to see the situation, to mark the anniversary of the war, and this is what you told me back then.
Will Ukrainians survive without Congress support? Of course, but not all of us. It will be tragedy for all of us, not only for Ukraine, not only for Ukrainians, for all Europe. Yeah.
So the question today is, can Ukraine win this war or hold off Russia without continued U.S. support?
It will be difficult for us. That's why I'm here. That's why we speak about the future negotiations. It will be difficult without your support, but we can't lose our values, our people. We can't lose our freedom. So a lot of people, Russians came to our territory, you know it. Russians came to our houses, and everybody saw it, video, images, a lot of things. They killed so many people. Just to forget it, just to say that Putin is a great guy? No, without us. We don't want it. That's why we speak about, everybody remembered how it was the first days of the war, how they came. Nobody wants in Ukraine, yes, of course, nobody will forget it, but nobody wants to have, again, new wave of occupation. That's why when we say, no NATO, what security guarantees can we have? I'm not pushing, we are not pressuring, we're just asking, we're just sharing very clear messages to our friends, to Americans.
Right.
If you stay with us, thank you so much, but let's do the infrastructure of security guarantees. Let's just share with our people, that America stay with us. That's great, we count on it, but just to share it and to say it, that's all.
How does the war end? How do you get to a deal? You're at a place right now where there is no deal. How do you get it back on track?
I think
there was no deal before.
Europe is ready for contingents and to help us with financing of big army, such big as we have now. This is our army is the part of security guarantees. Now we want to find the place for our biggest strategic partner, for the United States, or United States will propose where and how United States will give us security guarantees, what kind of and what part of volume of security guarantees. And when we will be ready with this, we will come to diplomacy. To diplomacy, yes, with Russians, Europeans, United States, and we. Four of us, I think this is real way, because with weapon, it's too long, it's not enough. We don't have enough weapon to push them out, and we don't see now, for now, we don't see really big volume of new support from the United States, but with all respect again. So for today, we'll be ready with security guarantee. Really, when I say NATO, it's not about that we are focusing on this word. It's about very understandable infrastructure of security guarantees. And you see that no NATO countries, for today, no NATO countries been under attacks.
Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican from South Carolina, he has been a big proponent of you and of Ukraine, said this today after the meeting.
I have never been more proud of the president. I was very proud of J.D. Vance, standing up for our country. We want to be helpful.
This
What
guy
I
is
saw
such
in
a
the
fucking
Oval
loser.
Office
Lindsey
was
Graham.
disrespectful, and I don't know if we can ever do business with Zelensky again. He either needs to resign and send somebody over that we can do business with, or he
regime
needs to
change. Yeah, okay, yes.
So he says you need to consider resigning. Is that on the table?
I don't know if he will be happy after my words. This decision can do only people of Ukraine.
You're not going to step down to do a peace deal.
No, I was always ready. I'm not sure that is a good idea for this such proposals. But anyway, I always said if United States will support NATO, so I think that it's enough for Ukraine. So I think I did all I had to do. And if somebody is not happy with me, okay. But between us, yes, Americans vote for American president. Each European country vote for their president, and only Ukrainian. With all respect to Lindsey, if I can say Lindsey, we know each other, yes, and only Ukrainians.
Democrats have had
their president.
Democrats have had the opposite reaction to the Oval Office meeting. Democratic Senator Chris Murphy from Connecticut posted this: "What just happened in the Oval Office was a planned ambush designed to help a brutal Russian dictator and hurt America's security. Trump has become Putin's lapdog, and America's global power is
There's no
hemorrhaging
way that
as
Zelensky
America
can
sides
respond
with
to
dictators
this
over
fairly.
democracy. What an embarrassment." Do you think the confrontation in the Oval Office today was pre-planned, like Senator Murphy suggests?
No way.
I don't know.
Yeah, you can't.
You don't know. You think maybe?
I don't know. No. I don't. I don't know about it. I think no. I think it was just a really tough situation because we've been very open, very direct.
What set you off? What made you mad?
Oh my
because
God.
they said your
Made
tenor
him
and
mad,
tone
set him off.
It's not about mad. It's not, Brad. You see, how to say, when you are in the United States, and for example, president or vice president or somebody or senators, it doesn't matter, big politicians, yes, when they, for example, say that Ukraine is almost destroyed, that our soldiers run away, that they are not heroes, that Ukraine lost millions of civilians, that his president is dictator, you know? What is the reaction? It's not about me. The reaction is that where is our friendship between Ukraine and the United States? That's it. This is feeling. And that's why I do not want to lose our great partners at the United States. And I just said that it's not the first time. I said it by phone, and we had some other conversations, and we had in Munich meetings, and I said, please, be correct. Just, I want to be very polite. I mean this, be correct with this number. When you say about the number, each person is important. When you say about 1 million of losses, we don't have any million of losses. Just when you speak about the territories, maybe some territories and etc., it's not just territory, it's houses, it's people's lives. You know, their fathers, mother, their relatives, grandfather, they died or this. I mean, this during this war. Nobody wants to forgive Putin. It's not funny, you know, or fairy tale. This is real life. That's what I said. And when you said it, a lot of times to my big friends who've been here today in our dialogue, and then they again begin to repeat the same things, I think it's not, I mean this, that's why I said it's not good way between partners, good partners and friends. That's it. And I think that if journalists asking questions to president, with all respect to vice president, I mean this, he has his interview.
Mr.
This
President,
is our dialogue.
Shouldn't this dynamic, if you're going to be like this, be behind?
Don't say private, but he's making these bad claims publicly.
Of course. And
so do you regret that? Are you regretting that that happened today?
Regretting? Yes, I think it was not good. I think it was not good because we had a lot of different dialogues. I'm always open to media, but there are very sensitive things. I just want to be honest, and I just want our partners to understand the situation correctly, and I want to understand everything correctly. That's about us. Not to lose our friendship.
A couple more things. What are the next steps in your mind? Here we are today. What are the next steps?
I think so. United States wanted this deal very much, and we've been not against this deal, but we wanted to understand what parts in security guarantees will take this deal and what next steps. Just again to understand for our people, during the war, what you don't like, even sometimes hate, surprises. It's understandable. Many terrible things this war brought to us. So we don't want any surprises. Yes, that's why we want to be very fair with our partners. And I think this deal, it was prepared by teams. It was not simple during weeks. And now it's ready. I think that they have to sign. The countries have to sign. The ministers have to sign. That's it. I don't know when they will do it. It depends on the American side.
So
exactly.
the minerals deal did not have security guarantees listed in it.
It's a part.
Oh my God!
The security guarantees?
This is the part in the infrastructure of security guarantees.
They weren't listed
because,
in
for
them.
example, President Trump said that I think so that if we will be there in some productions and etc. in minerals, that Putin will never come on this territory where we are. And I said to him, don't trust Putin. Why? I said because it's not. I mean this. We respect and we believe in strongness of the United States, but I said to him that we had more than 20 companies, American companies, big companies on the territory of Ukraine, and we had offices even on temporary occupied territories. For Putin, it doesn't matter. It's American, European company or Ukraine, it doesn't matter. He just came and occupied it. That's what I said. I think this is a great idea, how to strengthen Ukraine and how to make business between two countries, how to make additional jobs for two countries. But it's not just these will not save us.
I read what the Democratic senator said, that Trump has become Putin's lapdog. Do you agree with that President Trump is too close to Vladimir Putin in your mind?
We spoke about it, and I think today very openly President Trump, he said that I want to be in the middle, otherwise I will not put these guys at the table.
And is he right?
I want to be very honest, I want really him to be more at our side. I will explain why. Because it's not just that the war began somewhere between our countries. The war began when Russia brought this war to our country, and they're not right. And they are not right. They didn't respect our territorial integrity. They brought the war on our territory to our families. Sorry for repeating, to our houses. And they're not right. And of course, all the Ukrainians want to hear strong position of the United States on our side. From one side, it's understandable. From another side, he wants to find some way of dialogue with Putin. But he always said, as I remember, he always said that peace through strength. And that's why I think that he's strong, United States strong, two parties together in this question, two parties always together against Russia. You're very strong to do strong steps against Putin.
Americans are worried about where the money has gone.
Yeah.
Will there be a very rigorous accounting of where the money has gone? It seems like there is some question about whether there's corruption or
these questions aren't real. They're just on Twitter.
No, it can't be so. 100 billions we've got during 3 years.
183 from the U.S.
Now, on the paper, in the documents, yes. But we have, in fact, because 67 came like a weapon. It came through the border. It's checked and it's fixed by
like even on media, he has to do like fucking fact checking. It's so gross.
Not once with the American side, and 31.5 it was direct financial support to the budget. Again, it's very open. It's digitalized. It's open, free, and please, if somebody wants to check it again, we are very, very open with this.
Last thing, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Do you think your relationship with Donald Trump, President Trump, after today, can be salvaged?
Can be. Yes, of course, because it's relations more than two presidents. It's the historical relations, strong relations between our people. And that's why I always began with to thank your people, from our people. And this is the most important. And of course, thankful to President and of course to Congress, but first of all to your people. Your people help to save our people. People, the first. Human rights, the first. This is very, very important. And we are thankful. And sorry for this. I mean, we wanted very much to have only strong relations, and I very count that we will have it.
Mr. President, we're honored that you kept this interview. Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
When we come back, we'll bring in our panel for analysis after this.
Oh, boy.
I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of...
When I posted on TikTok, that went from...
Okay, people in chat keep asking this question. Why is Zelensky pushing so hard for security guarantees? Didn't Ukraine already have that with the Budapest Memorandum? Sorry if I'm slow, but is a security guarantee just certain guaranteed levels of support from the U.S.? If Russia breaks the agreement, doesn't all the U.S. have to do is say we're giving you security? Why is it so hard? So, so first of all, there were no security guarantees really after the for the Budapest Memorandum, okay, which is in '94 when Ukraine gave its nuclear weapons back to Russia. A security guarantee is basically saying, hey, if somebody violates this agreement, the United States will support you, like with boots on the ground. That's what a security guarantee is. That means that if Ukraine signs a deal, then the United States, and if Russia violates a deal, then the United States will intervene because they've given that assurance and they've given that promise to do so. That sends a signal to the rest of the world that, well, this is what the agreement is. It sends a signal to Russia that if we try to invade, we're going to get fucked up, so we better not invade. And it sends a signal to Ukraine that they can relax a little bit and they don't have to worry about being invaded because the United States is there to back up whatever agreement is made. There is no deal, in my opinion, who knows, maybe we'll be proven wrong by tomorrow, but I don't think there's any deal that Ukraine ever signs without a security guarantee. Because why the fuck would you? It's not worth the paper it's printed on. If you sign a deal saying, oh, okay, everything will be great, and there's no actual repercussions for if Russia violates that agreement. Because they violate agreements all the time. I don't give a fuck. They've done it multiple times with Ukraine in the past already. He will sign the infrastructure, though. I think that's what he said today. I don't think he was... I could be wrong, but I don't think he would ever sign that agreement without any kind of security assurance. Why would he just sign away parts of the country for nothing? What's a realistic security guarantee that doesn't involve U.S. boots? Because I don't think there will ever be a deal like that. If that's the case, then the U.S. has no business negotiating this deal. But it could be UN troops. I mean, the UN doesn't even have... Or like a UN peacekeeping force or something that doesn't involve the U.S., I guess, or any other nuclear powers. So like a UN peacekeeping... is it UNEF? UN Emergency Forces, I think, usually. But it has to be something like that. But if the U.S. can't actually commit any real defense to Ukraine, then the U.S. has no business being involved in those negotiations because the U.S. can't ensure anything. Did Russia explicitly violate any agreements during Trump's first term? Yes, Zelensky calls out a big one, I think, in 2019 that was signed. In December of 2019, Ukraine and Russia agreed to implement a full and comprehensive ceasefire. The agreement followed prisoner swaps and the withdrawal of Ukraine military. In 3 areas, the two sides agreed to swap the remaining prisoners and disengage military forces in 3 additional regions. Sorry, I was reading. Jesus. That was one the USA didn't want to participate in. Sure, but it was agreement made in Europe during Trump's administration. Like, it's actually crazy that Russia's violated just about every security agreement they have with any country. I don't know how much you follow Eastern Europe politics, but the Institute for the Study of War has reports saying Putin is trying to gradually turn Belarus into just another oblast/region. I mean, hasn't that already essentially happened? So should we protect the African countries who take each other over with war? Are we saying land expansion via violence is done? Land expansion via violence in Europe, yes, is done. And should we protect those countries? I don't know, maybe, but we don't have explicit security guarantees for those countries. We do have a lot of security guarantees that we've given to countries in NATO and countries in Europe. We have a vested interest in maintaining the stability of Europe, yes. The network extends far beyond Reddit. Oh, this thing. Oh, we've got Zay the Squirrel. Zay Squirrel, a radical Hamas-aligned account on X, Discord, Reddit, and Instagram. Zay Squirrel, whom I previously identified as being crucial to Wikipedia manipulation efforts based out of a Discord server called Tech for Palestine, moderates r/news and politics, and is also approved to create community notes on X. Zay Squirrel is active on the r/Palestine Discord server, where they coordinate other members of the network to manipulate community notes, having them rate potential notes as helpful or unhelpful. By the way, for anyone here who is in community notes, if you can help rate these as unhelpful and helpful, that would be great. Nice. They oversee similar activity on Quora. Handala, who, according to Quora, AMA, organized by r/Palestine, has created around 1,300 articles that have reached 58 million people on Quora, X, and Reddit, includes a link in his bio to the Palestine community on X, which is organized and operated by their r/Palestine network. Damn, I wonder what kind of shit he posts. What is the Palestinian history that you think every Palestinian needs to know? To all Palestinians, whether you're in exile because of Zionist ethnic cleansing or in refugee camps or living under the brutal Zionist settler colonial apartheid regime, holy fuck. Destiny, go back 10 minutes in this.
Let's find that video. Wait, Russian state media gained people that like don't like Hassan not being pro-Pally, which makes me like think that a lot of like let me just finish. That makes me think that like a lot of the claims made against him is kind of made out of
because I'm a liberal. You're a liberal too. You understand Hassan is illiberal.
But like I don't have to diminish like any like research that I'll do on Hassan, right? Because it's still possible for you to like be a raging Zionist calling Hassan pro-terrorism. And like while Hassan is true. It's possible, but I'm just saying we see a trend of like people that are very like anti-leftist, like anti-Palestine kind of all in these places. But I'm gonna watch the content nuke on stream, okay?
Okay, I'm just telling you, he's against Kamala Harris.
I wonder, did he say that you should have voted for Kamala Harris?
He didn't support Kamala Harris. He straight up said maybe I shouldn't even like he on stream. He's like, oh, I don't even know if I'm gonna like support her. He doesn't admit who's he's voting for. He's illiberal. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I guess according to a lot of people in the chat, he never said that. I will say that I think it's fair for like an individual to be like, Biden and Harris perpetuated a lot of bad things, especially like in Palestine. But of course, I would ultimately support the conclusion that everyone should have voted for Kamala Harris. I think that Hassan should have voted for Kamala Harris. I think that everybody should have voted for Kamala Harris. I'm in a weird place right now with like my own political ideologies. I feel like I'm right between the liberal and the leftist. You know what I mean? I'm right between the liberal and the leftist, which is an interesting position to be in. But listen, here's what I want to say. I'm gonna finish watching the content nuke because if like Hassan has done bad things, I'm not gonna be sympathetic to that. I think that it's important that we call out.
Why? Oh, I can't, dude. It's not about doing bad things. It's about what he consistently, currently, to this day, still believes in and still actively pushes. It's not about like has made a mistake or some drama thing or has done a bad thing. It's about what he to this day will defend as being a good, whole, righteous action and would continue and will continue into the future. Oh my God.
People, even those that I will personally say have done really good things for me and many of others like Hassan. And I think Hassan has absolutely been a net positive for like an impact on younger white guys in America, pushing them further to the left. But if he's done bad things, I think that everyone should call that out. If anything, it's really important to call that out. So it's less likely he does more bad things in the future, if that makes any sense. And that applies.
It seems he doesn't know anything about Hassan. He didn't even know about the 9/11 clip. Who the fuck cares about the 9/11 clip? I don't even think necessarily that was like a horrible. That's like you can justify that in a very edgy way. That's not even on the top 50 horrible fucking things Hassan has done or said or supported. It's like the 9/11 clip is whatever. That was just the one that got the most attention because Hassan was trying to straddle the line of being on the Young Turks and being his own independent media guy at the same time.
Is to kind of like everybody with a platform. Me, Parker, everybody. I'd say that for anybody. But I want to finish watching the content nuke. But what I will say is I do just see like a correlation between people hating on Hassan and not being pro-Pally. I do see that. But of course, I can't say that the only reason they hate on Hassan is because they're not pro-Pally until I finish the content nuke. It's possible that they have a valid reason. And there's only one way to figure out, which is to finish watching that damn video. We're going to move on to the next guest. What's up? Did you vote for Trump? All right, they're not here. We're going to get the next guest. We got Bryce loading up in the box. You guys will probably only do like another...
Okay. Jesus. Quora is a global platform where millions come together to ask questions, share knowledge, and engage in discussions on topics that matter. For advocates of Palestine, it's a powerful space to educate, challenge propaganda, and amplify the voices of resistance. By participating, you'll learn how to use Quora to raise awareness about the Palestinian cause and counter Zionist Hasbara. Dude, fucking no offense, Jews, you guys wish you were half as fucking organized as these pro-Pallies on fucking, and the Marxist weirdo people and all those super far leftists. Holy fuck. Jesus Christ. The network boosts his profile and activities on Reddit with promotional posts in addition to fundraising for him. Seeing him as a valuable asset, r/Palestine provides back office type support, for example, transferring Handala's core articles to Reddit and the Palestine community on X. The group also uses r/Palestine Discord to coordinate upvoting of Handala's articles on Quora, and in at least one instance claimed to have mass copy-pasted Handala's articles to Wikipedia to ensure further reach. Oh, support him. Should we go upvote all of Handala's Quora posts? Yes. The network is not only, the r/Palestine network is not only succeeding, but growing rapidly. The pipeline it operates, carrying propaganda from terror organizations into the open sea of the internet, suggests that very little about the network is organic, that rather is part of the illusion of a groundswell of popular sentiment that just happens to think and speak about this issue in a given way. Good propaganda has varying objectives and standards. In some cases, it's to sow just enough doubt to create a wedge. In other cases, the aim is to cajole or convince or intimidate opposition into silence. What's unique to r/Palestine is that it's likely the first major propaganda effort that brings to bear the full range of digital platforms and capabilities. Did you see that the 19-year-old Doge employee was found to be in connection with a few cybercrime syndicates and apparently was fired from his previous position for leaking industry secrets? I have no idea, but 19-year-old was involved in all that? I don't know how much I believe that. Or was just like part of a thing, or... I said I've got the receipts, and I do. Here they are in one thread. The full piece out at Pirate Wires. Oh, this is about the squirrel. Is a super soldier in the Israel-Palestine information landscape. But their significance goes beyond geopolitical propaganda. It provides a rare glimpse into not just online propaganda tactics and methodologies, but how individual operators use a combination of disruption, radicalization, personal charm, online celebrity, resource coordination, and sheer manpower to achieve clear-cut strategic objectives on the digital battlefield. He posted an entire write-up about the squirrel. The squirrel effect is also spilled over into the world of Twitch streaming, with Z going after two of the biggest online streamers, Ethan Klein and Destiny. That's me. The relatively pro-Israel stances of Klein and Destiny, both of whom are avowedly left of center, has prompted the rabid wrath of Z, who calls Klein one of the most depraved, amoral scumbags to walk this earth, an exact mirror image of every fanatical Zionist who exhibits pathological, murderous rape cult depravities. Jesus. Similarly, Zay accused Destiny of being a vile, depraved sex creep who has been running a sex cult with the fans he grooms in his community, and called him the Jeffrey Epstein of streaming. Is it Epstein or Weinstein? Why not both? Zay's manic obsession with sexual crime is far from incidental. Rather, as we'll see, it's very likely her overriding strategic imperative, as Zay herself likes to endlessly repeat every accusation as a confession. This is my favorite New Year's Eve because Death to America is trending. Jesus. Okay. I don't know what to say. These people are crazy. Sure. When was the first time you remember the squirrel? I don't know. What? Isn't it like 8 years old? 10 years old? This account has been unhinged forever. What should countries like Australia, where I'm from, do in the face of America becoming an unreliable ally? I have no idea. Good luck. We were so close to funding her immigration to Cuba. Yeah, I don't think she would have moved, buddy. Okay. Well, we caught up on all the material we had, except for this video. Is there a full version of this, or is this the full version? They don't normally do like 20-minute panels, right? Does Ukraine have 350 billion USD? Yeah. Quick check on the new Hassan tweet. How do you feel now that America is becoming everything the crazy leftists always said it was? Except not really, because leftists made weirder, different accusations, and fuck the illiberal people. Leftists are weird, commies and socialists are weird, and fascists are weird. Fuck them both, okay?